Hey, this is Russ. Yeah, we're back out on the road again. Temperature right now is upper 70s, low 80s. Time is about 9:03. Started out as an overcast day, although the sun is now coming out a little bit. I've been riding for a while already, but I figure I'd turn on the recorder and talk to you a little bit. I've just been riding around in circles in the same areas we always go to. But I wanted to bring up something that was sent to me by my sister. She saw an article. I'll put a link to the article in the description of the video, so you can read the article yourself as well. You make comments if you like. But basically what the article said was Rad Power Bikes was being sued by a family because their daughter was killed while being a passenger on one of their Rad Runner bicycles. And I may have the story not 100% correct, so read the article, but from my recollection of the article from reading it several hours ago, it sounded like she and her friend hopped on this Rad Runner bike and took it for a ride, and I think she was 12 years old, and I think her friend was either 11 or something. I don't know how old she was. They were both young. They were riding, and I guess they were going down the hill, and the friend who was essentially riding the bike, and the girl that got killed was a passenger on the back of it. She lost control of the bike as they were going down a hill. I guess she tried to hit the brakes and wasn't responding as well as it could have probably, and she lost control of the bike. And they mentioned something about the front quick release hub too. I don't know if that played a factor or not, but so down they went, and of course the girl had brain injury and she didn't make it, so she passed away, and so her family is suing Rad Power Bikes at this point. Now, from what I can gather from the article, it did say something to the effect that Rad doesn't recommend that people under a certain age ride the bikes. And obviously these girls were under the age. So my question to you is, read the article first, get the facts first, at least from the article. And then let me know what you think about this whole thing. Is Rad at fault here? Or is it user error because they're under the recommended age, or what? Now, I will say that what normally comes on that bike is mechanical disc brakes. And I know it takes a certain amount of pulling of the brake levers to get that to react. And if you're going downhill and you're going fairly fast, you might not be able to stop. It's true. I know it for a fact. I've had several times where I've pulled on the mechanical disc brakes and just can't pull hard enough to get it to stop fast enough. Now, not to say that hydraulic brakes would be able to stop always, but I do know it's a lot easier to pull these hydraulic brakes than it is the mechanical brakes. So much so that I'm able to skid the tires on this bike, where I was never able to do that before with the mechanical disc brakes. And the mechanical brakes that I had are the Tektro brakes, which is the same Tektro brakes I believe that they put on the Rad Power Bikes. So it makes me wonder, should all bikes have hydraulic brakes? These bikes go really quick. You're talking 20 miles an hour to 28 miles an hour, some of even faster. And if you don't have a full hydraulic brake, when I usually say full hydraulic, I'm talking hydraulic calipers and hydraulic, brake line. So the cable that goes from the brake lever all the way down to the caliper. There's oil in there. It's not a cable that's in there. It's actually oil. And then so when you pull on the lever, that pushes that oil towards the caliper, making it close. Okay. Now, hydraulic brakes have its own problems too. If you have air in the line, your braking ability would be kind of squishy. You don't have enough pull power. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but I'm going to call it that. And so you have to do what they call bleeding the line, trying to get those air bubbles out of there. Sometimes you have to replace the entire fluid or just top off the fluid. So anyways, Rad's being sued for that, and of course they don't want to talk because it's pending litigation. So what do you guys think about that? Make a comment, let me know. Do you think they have a case against Rad? Or, I mean, I don't think Rad would be unique in this situation. Anyone jumping on a bike, going a certain speed, and maybe not being able to stop as well because it's mechanical disc brakes, from a little kid, okay, is Rad at fault? Or is it a user error type of thing where, maybe they're too young to ride that e-bike? So anyways, before we make a comment, let me say this too, is let's keep it civil. I mean, emotions always run high on things like this, and let's not have arguments inside the discussions. Last time I said that, we were talking about what was it? How to protect yourself on a bike, and one of the comments, it started getting out of control because he had a different of opinion to me. Then someone else jumped in to defend me. Thank you for that. And then he jumped back in to say certain things to her, and it kind of got ugly. So I finally just said, look, let's just stop. Let's not go any further with this discussion. Everyone has their own opinion, okay? Let's just leave it at that, right? I'm going to say the same thing for this one, because I can see that this one could go down that path as well. I don't want to moderate you guys, I'm telling you. I really don't. I don't like getting in the middle of all this stuff. If you don't agree with me, it's okay. But people come to defend me, and then you jump on the people who defend me. It's not good. So if you get down to that road and I say, let's just stop, let's stop, okay? And here's why I prefer that we just stop on stuff like that, is because I know that the people who are commenting are people who comment all the time on my channel, and I appreciate you guys being there. I would hate to get to the point where I have to ban one of you guys because of that type of thing. Because once I ban somebody, you can't comment anymore. We would miss your contributions to the comment section. So my feeling is, let's not get down that far. Okay, if we disagree, just say I disagree, and let's leave it at that. All right, we don't need to go and jump all over each other for comments, because not everyone's going to agree with everything. It's okay. It's just let's be civil about it at least, okay? Then we could all stay on the channel and not be banned out of it. I have banned a couple of people in the past because of activity like that, and I kind of feel bad because it got out of control. Yeah, so let's not do that. Let's just intelligently discuss it, agree or disagree, but don't go doing personal disagreements. All right, don't go and attack each other. That's not worth it. E-bike should be fun. It should not be anything other than that. So where are we going? I have no idea where we're going. I'm just riding again for the sake of riding. Today is supposed to rain. I think it is expected to rain in about 2 hours. So I don't want to go too far. So I'm staying around the general area. I don't want to go on the paths because we've done that so much. I'd rather just ride the streets. And even these streets are streets we've done before. But I'd rather be out riding or cruising, whatever you want to call it, since I'm not pedaling right now, than not. Okay. I'd rather be talking to you guys than sitting at home and watching TV or something, you know. This is the problem I find being retired at this point. I don't have a whole lot to do except make YouTube videos. Edit YouTube videos, make YouTube videos, ride my bike, practice my guitar, because I play on the church worship team. Oh, somebody asked me about the background about the whole thing with the church thing, because I guess one of the videos I mentioned, sorry for mentioning that, you know, I guess he didn't understand why I said that. So I explained to him that somebody was offended by the word church because they don't go to church, they don't agree with church, and so they requested that I never use that word and never talk about church. And then, of course, as we talk about people jumping to my defense, yeah, several of you guys jumped to my defense, which I appreciate. But I thought more about it, and I said, you know what? If you don't like the fact that I mentioned church or that I go to church, then maybe the channel isn't for you. Yeah. Because I'm gonna mention it because it's part of my activities, right? I talk about the things that I do. It's kind of hard to kind of eliminate a section of the things that I've done when I'm talking. So I will be bringing it up because that's what I do. I mean, I ride my bike, I practice my guitar, I play my guitar at church. I go to church and then I come home, okay? That's really about the extent of my week. So if I'm not allowed to talk about that subject because it's an e-bike channel, it would be hard for me to wipe out a good chunk of the things that I've done for that week, because it is part of me. It's just the way I am, and it's what I do. I go to church and I play guitar at church. And so sometimes I will be mentioning things like that. But no, the majority of the discussions that we do are e-bike related. I mean, I think almost everybody knows that's what we mostly talk about, but on occasion I'll bring up some topics that, you know, that things that I've done for that week or something. I'm sharing it with you. So if you don't like that particular topic or you don't like that thing, you could always turn me off. Nothing says you have to watch that entire episode. Come back another day and watch it. Maybe we won't be talking about that day. So anyways, I just wanted to say that I will be talking about what are things that I do, okay? And most of the time we'll be talking about the e-bike, but there's going to be topics that kick in, you know, that comes to my brain as I'm riding and talking, and then I'll discuss that. So okay, enough of that stuff. What else is new on the e-bike world here? I did get confirmation that something is being delivered to me this week. I think it said Thursday, from FedEx. So whenever I see that, I have to kind of look to see who sent me what, because I wasn't really expecting anything coming in. So I always look at the origin, you know, where did this part or this product come from? It's coming from California. And I kept thinking, you know, what could it be? I am expecting a front fork from two companies. Magicycle is sending me a front fork to replace this one because they have the new Cruiser Pro model, which has a hydraulic front fork. So they want me to upgrade my current bike to the Pro version of the bike. I'll have everything except for the motor will be slightly different. The motor of the Pro version is a 96 Newton meter motor. It's like a tongue twister. My current motor is an 86 Newton meter motor, so I kind of refer to my version as the semi-pro. It's not quite pro, but it's pretty close. Because I have everything else. I have the hydraulic brakes in there now because I've upgraded that. I have the 20 amp hour battery in there now, which is running right now. I'll have the front fork, and then I'll also have the well, the only thing I'm missing really is the motor not being as torquey. Is that a word? Yeah, it won't be as torquey. So So I fondly refer to it as my semi-pro version. And I'm okay with that too, quite frankly. I don't need the 96 Newton meters. I think the Ocelot Pro has 96 Newton meters. So that's going to be coming to me too. So anyways, so it could be that fork, or it could be the other brand's fork. Because as you know, I had a bike that was damaged by FedEx, and the other brand has to send me a replacement fork for the damage that FedEx did to the review bike. And that's taken a long time too. That has not been. Let's go this way. That has not been. Hasn't arrived to me yet. So it could be one of those two things. That's what I'm thinking that it is. And I think they both originate from California. But the thing that I think is a little different is I believe both of these forks are being shipped to me from China, not from California. So maybe they had to ship it to their warehouse, and then from the warehouse they ship it to me from that point. So it could be one of those two things. That's what I'm thinking. It's probably one of the two forks that's arriving. I don't have anything else that I'm expecting to show up. Really drying out because, like I said, I've been riding for a while already before I turned on the camera. So yeah, I can't go too far today because it's gonna rain, and I don't want to be caught in the rain. I could see the skies are getting darker. I started out early and rode around, and then I said, well, I might as well turn on the recorder and talk a little bit too. Yeah, I actually prefer to talk while I'm riding versus just being quiet and ride. To me, it's kind of boring when I'm just riding by myself and there's no discussion of anything. So I might as well talk to you guys. Make a video out of it so you can see what's going on. Yeah, these neighborhoods are familiar, but not 100% familiar. I mean, obviously the houses look similar from house to house, but a lot of times I don't know where I'm really riding. I just ride as I talk, and I just turn when I feel like turning. I mean, we're going around the same general area, but I don't know the streets specifically, so I don't know where I'm headed. Like if I've been going too long, I'll say, okay, let's turn, and I'll just turn. I know I'm not lost. I know I'm in the same general area. And even if I get lost, there's always the GPS to help bring me back. Oh, here's an interesting thing too. Let's get back on the e-bike topics here. I was riding relatively quickly down the street to the point where I was on pedal assist level 5 for me, which is about 60% of assist level. And of course, at that point, I was already ghost pedaling. Ghost pedaling is where you rotate with your pedals, but you don't feel anything because it's going so fast you can't catch up to it. Let's turn here. So I was noting that the power level, the power meter, was still only showing like 300 something watts. I'm going, wow, I'm going 20 something miles an hour and it's only showing 300 something watts. I would have thought that, once you start ghost pedaling and you're going that fast, that you'd be using up even a lot more power. Let's go a little faster here. Let's go to level 6. This is 70% assist. Now I'm looking at the watt meter. I'm definitely ghost pedaling. I don't feel anything in the pedals. Okay. And I'm barely moving. Here, I'll angle down. You see how slow I'm moving? I'm doing 19.5 miles an hour. But my wattage is showing 470. 600 now. It's going up a little bit. So it can vary, but I was just surprised that even at the rate of speed that I was going, I'm only at 300 to 400 watts. I would have thought, based on that speed, you'd be at 900 all the time, but maybe I'm wrong. Let's turn here. I mean, once you start from a dead stop, I see it's at 900, then it typically will drop. Okay, I'm going up a little hill and a little incline. Let me move back over here. Let's turn here. All right, so we're at 900 watts right now. Ghost pedaling at this point. Starting to drop. It drops down to 202. We're going down an incline, so obviously the wattage drops. But because I'm still moving my legs, the motor doesn't need the extra help apparently, because it's kind of like coasting down. My whole point is that even though we're going fast, the wattage use is actually lower. I think where I was eating a lot of power is because sometimes I will use the throttle and I'll try to hold it to a certain level. It might actually still be better to just do some ghost pedaling and use that level, because I think you get a little bit more use of your battery that way. Okay, this is that one park we passed before. What was it called? Hasbrook Park. Hasbrook Park. No H. Mispronouncing things again. Yeah, you know, the whole ghost pedaling thing is just weird. I feel like Kermit the Frog on a on a bike. You ever see the Muppets movie? You know, Kermit the Frog is singing his little song. He's riding the bike, and you see his little frog legs moving the pedals. But I feel like Kermit the Frog. All right, I'll let this guy pass me first. What was he singing? The Rainbow Connection. Remember that song? I can hear the Kermit. I can hear the Kermit voice in my brain. You gotta talk through your nose. I don't know how they do that. I have a Kermit voice. Yeah, this whole video's gone downhill. Alright, we're gonna turn here. Yeah, it's gonna rain. We could see it. It's getting darker. Sun was out for a little bit, and then not anymore. It's gone dark. It's going darker. Oh, by the way, I had to readjust my Bikeroo saddle from the last ride. I felt it slip a little bit. You know, you can tilt it up, you can tilt it down, you know, forward, backwards, up and down, forward, backwards. You could tilt it, right? And so the rear part was tilting more, so that the front part was tilting upwards, which is not comfortable. I usually have my saddle not level. I usually have the back end of it a little bit higher than the front. That way you have less pressure in the front area, if you get my drift. And that's how I usually am able to ride for 60 miles and not get off of this saddle. Well, it had tilted up, so obviously it needed to be readjusted. My whole point is you got to carry your tools with you. If that happens while you're riding and you don't have any tools to fix that, you're stuck with that saddle being angled up like that for the remainder of the ride, and that would have been terrible. So in my front basket, I have my tool bag. I keep all that stuff in there so that I can do any type of emergency repair. So yep, I readjusted it, and now we're doing better. I think it could tilt down a little bit more, but it's acceptable. Yeah, we're always crossing this Palatine Road. Okay, I got all these cars behind me. I gotta let them pass because I gotta get into the left turn lane area. There's too many of them, and I don't want to get between them. And of course, they take forever because they're stopping at the stop sign. I'm going as slow as I can, hoping not to fall. All right. Yeah, that's a balancing act. When you're going that slow, it is definitely a balancing act. You know, there was a time I couldn't do that when I first got the bike. Any e-bike, that is. I hadn't been on a bike in so long that if you went too slow, you had a chance of falling. So I think realistically, anything slower than, say, 6 miles an hour, I have a really big problem. I'd prefer to be at least minimum 9 miles an hour, quite frankly. You need to have some forward momentum to stay vertical on the bike, right? You go too slow, it's a balancing act. Can you keep this thing from tipping? Yeah, I think it's about ready to rain. I'm looking at the sky. It's getting darker and darker. I got to get home as fast as I can. Anyways, whoa, let's see. I missed it again. You know how many times I've done that? I'm going to have to go around this thing again. This street has been my turnaround street. Oh man, it's always the case. I notice it just as I pass it all the time. It's right over here. I think the problem is the street sign is a little bit obscured from trees and things, and by the time I actually notice it, it's too late. I've already passed it then at that point. Okay, let's turn here. Alright, yeah, I can kind of smell it, you know. You can smell when a rain's coming, right? I can kind of smell it. So it must be raining somewhere up ahead of us. Anyways, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to put a little comment about the article. Take a look at the link in the description of the video and read the article yourself. Let's keep it civil. Let's not jump all over each other for whatever opinions we might have about this. I'll talk to you guys next time.